Good morning, everybody. This is week 4 of our Growing to Premier session during the summer of 2017. My name is Debbie Boyle. I'm a platinum with doTERRA. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I should give you a little feedback. If you don't know me, I always like to know what the person's like that I'm learning from a little bit. I've been an educator all my life, and because of my poor health, about 20 years ago, I shifted over to natural health care when I learned that I could get off the 10 drugs I was on by detoxing my body and starting to eat real food, which I did not know there was a difference at the time. And when I did that, my whole world changed, and I got so excited, and then I got really, really angry. And I committed myself at that point to educating people, even if it was one at a time, how to have vibrant health. And that was the name of my business in the other world. And I, in the natural world, became an herbologist. I started using herbs because this was 20 years ago. I then became, I studied to get a dietitian, and then I studied to become a health and wellness coach. And then eventually I became a colon hydrotherapist because it was a great avenue for me to reach people with detoxing and educating them about their diet. And that's what I chose to do. But that was a brick and mortar business. And we knew that we wanted to retire to the beach, and the opportunity came up for me to sell my business, and I did. And now I just get to do doTERRA and live at the beach. Thank you, doTERRA. So we talk a lot about why. I think you kind of heard my why, and most people, I will tell you, that are in this kind of business have a heart for people. They want to help people, and if we're doing and serving our purpose, we want to be doing that in some capacity. And of course, there's many ways you can do that. Why am I doing doTERRA? Because I love the oils. I love what I saw they do for people. I love being an educator. I love teaching people. But the bottom line was, we had our choice for retiring. We could either retire or we could retire with a lifestyle. And if I chose to do doTERRA, we could retire to the beach with a lifestyle. So all those are wrapped in my why, and all of them are very, very important, because the last one especially is very important. If I don't do doTERRA, we do not have a lifestyle at the beach. And that keeps me in over the bumps and the hurdles or the disappointments or the frustrations. Because if you don't have that, if you're not sold out with that decision, then you can just say, well, I'd like to help people. I can do it some other way. And then you quit and you go do it some other way. And maybe some of you people know, there's people like that in network marketing. They do it with this company, and then they hit too many bumps, and they do it with another company. They hit the bumps, and they do it with another company. I call them groupies. They're network marketing groupies. You can't chase 2 rabbits or more rabbits. 1 rabbit. Pick your rabbit and do it. But you've got to have that anchoring why, or you're going to quit. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't hit any bumps on the way to platinum. I'm on my way to diamond now. I did, but there's bumps in everything. To me, people are making the ultimate sacrifice when they're committing to their whole life to a 9-to-5 job and doing what they have to do to show up at that job and to sit there or stay there or function at that job for 8 or 9 hours and then build their whole life around that. See, for me, that's prison. And that's not true for everybody. And I'm not really criticizing it. I'm just saying you have to look at yourself in your life and what you want. And I'm just saying, for me, in order for me to have freedom, according to what freedom is for me and lifestyle, this served the purpose. And I get to change people's lives, which is ultimately what I want to do. So why not do something you love doing, but it's no problem getting paid very well for doing it, okay? So that's me. Let's do a little review here. What we've been doing in Grow to Premier, we said in the first class, anybody can get out there and knock around and you'll hit elite, because elite can be 3,000 PV in your whole organization. It can happen. You can get there without even trying, okay? Now it's a little different. What we're asking you with Premier is you have to structure 2 legs, and we want 2,000 volume in each leg with 1,000 wherever you want it. Now you have to have some builders. okay? And all of a sudden now, oh my God, you feel like you're responsible for builders. You're not, but you're a guide for builders. What do I do with these builders? This is all part of why we've presented this program to you, and I want to make this real clear. We all have different gifts, okay? No matter what our gifts are, we choose how we share doTERRA, and there's numbers of ways to do that, okay? But the bottom line is you may not have the greatest gifts for teaching and training and leading someone else to do what you do. We have there's some great people that come into doTERRA and they're awesome at what they do, but they can't teach anybody. They can't tell somebody else how to do it, you know? So guess what? It's not up to you. It's up to the system. We have a system in place now. It's called Launch to Elite, Grow to Premier, what is it? Build to Silver, and there are even more that we can add on, all right? We've got this system in place that has been perfected. The Goddards have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars perfecting this, hiring professionals to help them create these incredible videos, create this step-by-step process. So we got it down into these brochures, and it's step-by-step. So now, as a premier, as you're enrolling builders and you're looking for those key builders to build those legs, all you have to know how to do is get the launch brochure, and start with step 1 and walk them through the steps, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that next week, about launching new builders, but that's what this track is going to be for down here, okay? But that's one of the differences about this one. So now it's more of a commitment. Now you really have to really decide if this is something you want to do. Let me help point something out to you, though, with this commitment. Our average with this new empowerment bonus of $200 a month at the level of rank of premier, we now have our average premier's income being $1,000 a month, okay? Would $1,000 a month, would that change your life? Will that make a difference in your life? You have to answer that question. If yes, then this is worth it. Then this is worth it, okay? As I point out to people when we talk about residual income, and I'm explaining the power of 3 bonuses, the 50, the 250, and the 1,500, I tell people, I say, you know, $250 a month residual income doesn't sound like a lot of money, but let me tell you what it would take for you. You would have to have $40,000 in a bank account earning 8% interest, and good luck getting 8% today, in order to generate $250 a month. I don't know how much effort it would take for you to put $40,000 in the bank, but it's not going to be the same effort that it takes to find 12 people that want to use doTERRA. And that's the difference. $1,500 a month, residual income, power of 3 bonus. It'll take you a while to do that, but it's very, very doable. Do you know how much money you'd have to have in the bank in order to create a $1,500 residual income at 8%? And like I said, you're not going to get 8%. $250,000. I will tell you, most people in this country will not bank $250,000 in a lifetime. Statistically, it's there, less than 2%, all right? But if you just keep doing doTERRA, you will get there and you will have that income coming in. So think about that the next time you think you want to quit doTERRA, okay? Because it's really, really worth it. So you need to be making your decisions at this time if you're going to commit to doing and becoming a premier and what it takes. If you're going to be a premier, that means you want to do doTERRA consistently, all right? It's your schedule, but it's consistent. That's the key, all right? So we've been talking about how to plan for premier. You know what the skills are, but now it's time to hone them. So the first week we were talking about how important time management is. And hopefully you've addressed that and you've done some tweaking so that that's working better for you. Plan your work your plan. It's key. If you talk to any successful people, this is the #1 thing. So if you don't have this down, hi Liz, if you don't have this down, please address this. One of the best books, and to get the guidance on this, is The Miracle Morning for network marketers. That book has all successful people from all walks of life, and they're all sharing what they do in this miracle morning in the morning. Some are short, some are long, some started short and they're longer, 10 minutes in the morning, half hour in the morning, hour, but it can change your whole life. And maybe you've never learned that before. You've got to learn that time management is so important in this business. Second of all, we started talking about inviting. Got to know how to contact and invite people. Your business doesn't just come and knock on your door and say, hey, I'd like to learn about oils, right? You have to get out there. So you have to hone those skills of how to contact and invite people. Then once you've done that, you've got to know how to share the oils. You've got to understand that even though your passion, you lead with your passion, and it's so important, and your heart, there is a skill to develop here, and there is a psychology to understand how people make their decisions. And even though people may say they want better health care or they want natural health care, if you perfect your skill of how to share this information with them, you're going to communicate better and help them make better decisions for themselves. Best book for helping with that is Being the Starfish. Neil Anderson is a blue diamond that has over 20 years in marketing and sales experience, and he goes into the psychology of understanding what motivates people to buy, its pain and its pleasure, and understanding your cycle, the sharing cycle that you're going through. This is a must for helping you support you with presenting. So now we're up to enrolling. But before I go into enrolling, I want to stop right here and I want to open it up and just say, is there anything on your mind that you want to talk about or need to address or have a question or just want to talk or want to vent? So now's your time.
Hey, Debbie, this is Lizzie.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, I really struggle with inviting. I can invite until my face is blue, but I struggle with getting people to commit or go to the class, or how would you say? It's like people don't want to come to a class when I invite them, or I have a hard time getting people to host as a class. Those are my struggles.
Well, tell me what you're doing now. Who are the hostesses that you're choosing?
I haven't gotten anyone this month yet. I'm lacking in.
Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to book classes?
I have done text splits, and that seems to help. And I have gone out, handed out samples, and tried to get people that way.
What do you say when you're out with samples? Give me a scenario of how you've done that.
Like when I go to the store, I have a sample, and if I see somebody that I think could benefit, or like even the register lady, I'm like, hey, I have a gift here for you. And I get their number, and then I try to follow up and say, how, are you interested in, I check to see if she used a sample, and I try to connect and talk to her for a little bit, and then I see if she would be interested in going to a class or even hosting a class. And I lose people when I try to get them to go to a class or host a class.
Well, from what I hear, what you're saying, maybe you're just not saying it right, and maybe you are doing what I'm going to say. But let me just say what I have found is most effective. This is an invitation business, and what you're doing is looking for people who are interested. So when you're out and about, for whatever the reason is, whether it's someone that's sneezing and coughing, or whether it's someone that you just seem to be chatting with, the first question in order to go onto this topic is always number one, I'm just curious. And you could be talking about your kids or anything else. The minute you say, I'm just curious, you can change the topic, okay? So you're standing in line in the grocery store, and there's really no health issues being talked about or anything like that. But you just like whatever the reason you want to approach this, you want to say something to this woman. So you just say, I'm just curious. Are you open to natural health care? And then you got to find out if they are. If she says no, I got my drugs, I love my drugs, I love my doctor, whatever, well, then there's nothing to talk about, right? But the first question is always, first of all, you got to find out if they're open. And that could be
Right,
saving.
right.
If you start out by just saying, hey, I'd love to give you a sample, you don't know if they're interested. She may be just being polite by taking your sample. She has no interest in the world. Don't waste your time. First
Yeah.
question is, I'm just curious, are you open to natural health care? And she'll say,
I
well,
like.
maybe. I don't know, why are you asking, or whatever she's going to say, okay? So then you just say, well, have you ever heard of essential oils? And then you've got a dialogue. Either she hasn't, or little, or whatever. Just say, well, I'm getting the word out about essential oils as a natural healthcare solution. Would you be would you like to try a sample and give me your feedback on what you think of it?
I love that. Yes.
You're always asking questions and asking permission, and it's always her idea. It's not your idea. She's
Right.
making the decision. And she'll say, well, what do you got? And then I would just say, well, do you have any current health issues right now? Now they'll vomit on you. Now they'll start telling you all their different kind of health issues, okay? But I have such headaches, or my hormones are based on what she has to say. You want to give a sample where she's going to get a fast reaction. If she's talking about, I've got Crohn's disease, you can't address something with a little sample to get her, pique her interest for long term. We've got to keep this with something simple, all right? And you always want to give out something she's going to have a quick experience with. It can be breathe. We know how breathe works. It can be digestion for the digestive system. And usually those two, lavender for stress or anxiety, those three are big, big issues. And then, of course, you can always fall back on your lemon, right? As a natural
Right.
detoxer, for her to try it in her water. Okay, so
Right.
you hand the sample out, and then you just say, may I have your contact information? What's the best way to contact you? Do you like text? Do you like phone? Find that out. And find out when would be the best time, and just say, today's Monday. Do you think you could try this sample by Thursday? Ask her. And she says no, then just say, okay, well, you think you can try it over the weekend? Well, yeah, you know what? I know my week's crazy, but I'll address this on the weekend. Yeah. And just say, okay, well, that would be all right if I contact you then on Monday. Or would it be all right if I contact you? Always ask permission. I'm always asking permission. I don't want to go any place I'm not wanted. Okay. And my
Right.
background is I'm a people pleaser. I like to keep people happy. I don't like to get hollered at. I don't like to make people angry. I was raised in a very dysfunctional home, and I got hollered at a lot. So I'm not gonna make anybody unhappy, okay? That's my psychology. But it's also good
Yeah.
psychology for you people that have this mental block about selling. When somebody says, "Do you sell doTERRA?" It's like a nail on a chalkboard with me, because in my mind, I don't sell doTERRA. I don't sell doTERRA. I literally don't inventory oils and sell them to people. I'm an educator about natural health. I teach people how to take care of their health naturally, and I show them how these wonderful oils can provide the solutions. If they're interested, I teach them how to set up a membership with doTERRA and how to get the best possible prices and utilize and maximize their benefits of their membership. That's what I do, if anybody asks me, okay? So I'm never selling. Although in reality, in life, ladies, we're always selling, okay? You're selling your husband on why you need to go where you need to go at a certain time. You're selling your kids on why you want them to do what they want to do. So you've got to, if that's a mental thing, you got to work on that. Okay, so back to this. So that's the first, is always an invite. The first invite is always asking permission that way, okay? If you're out and about, and those key words, you know, I'm getting the word out about essential oils. That applies to anybody, okay? You're just letting them know what you're doing. When I moved down here to the beach, the only people I knew were my doTERRA people, which was great, but that's not going to build my fourth leg, right? So what did I have to do? I had to get out there. I just said, hey, I'm new in the area and I'm getting the word out about essential oils. Are you open to natural health care? And what I did with some people around here, I just said, look, in order to get the word out, would you be willing to get some people together and have a class so I could teach you and them about essential oils? And as a thank you, I'd be more than happy to give you a free essential oil. And I'd really appreciate it. I asked for what I wanted. Now, she can either say yes or she can say no. I'm only interested in the people that are interested. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm here to provide a solution for somebody that has a problem. You have headache problem, whatever your problem is, I'm a solution provider, okay? Okay, second time you're providing a question with an invite is at the class or at the one-on-one. No, I'm stop that. If you're giving samples out to new people, now they're going to try the sample, you're going to follow up, and you're going to ask them how it worked for them and whatever. Here's the next key question. Would you like to learn more? There are lots of oils with lots of solutions, and it's real important to know how to use these oils. Would you like to learn more? If she has no interest in learning more, she's not going to come. I don't want to talk to anybody that doesn't want to learn. I taught junior high for a lot of years with a lot of kids that didn't want to be there. I switched to adults and started teaching adults that wanted to be there. It's a whole lot more fun. Same thing with oils. It's much more fun to sit in a class with people that want to be there than people that are just showing up to buy something to keep their friend happy. I don't want those people there. Waste of my time. I only got much time left on this planet, and I want to make it good. And I want to change lives, right? All right. So, would you like to learn more? And she says, well, yeah. I'm just saying, well, you know, I have a couple options. Which would be best for you? I do have an online, and this is up to you. I hold online classes. If I have an online class scheduled, I'll let her know about that because I find that that's very, very convenient for people to sit in their jammies and watch a class rather than showing up. We can get together for a one-on-one over your kitchen table or mine, or we can meet at Starbucks. Or if you would like to if you think you know of some friends that also are interested in natural health, all of us can get together, a few of us get together, and we could do that. Which would you prefer? Her choice. But you always be prepared and have something for them to plug into. I have a class on Thursdays at my home twice a month, just on the calendar, standard, okay? Because when I'm out and about meeting people, I want to know I have that to plug people into. And of course, members of my team can plug their people into that also. So if you start saying, well, I don't know, let me see when I get home, let me look at my schedule and we'll see what we can do. No. It's, I have a class on Thursday. Would that work for you? Well, no, Thursday won't work. Then, you know what? Why don't we just do a one-on-one? We'll take an hour. We'll meet over, we'll go to Starbucks or, come over to my house, whatever. Let's just spend an hour. She obviously needs more experience before she's ready to make more of a commitment, right? Right now, it's just interest level. Okay, would you like to learn more? Okay, so now you're meeting with them on a one-on-one or a class or whatever. Here's the third invitation. Are you ready to begin a membership with doTERRA and start using these wonderful oils? And if you read these books and if you practice and learn your techniques, they will be, okay? Okay, so that's the third invitation. The fourth comes in the membership overview where you share with them. We find that there's usually three kinds of people in doTERRA. There's people that we call users, and what they do, they want to use these products for their family's health and their health care, which is wonderful. As most people in doTERRA, that's what they are, is a user. Then we find that some people get so excited using these, they can't stop not tell their friends about it, so they want to share these oils with people, and you can share from your personal experience with that, and we call them sharers. And then you know what? There's some people that want to replace their income or subsidize their income, which you can do with doTERRA. And we call them builders. Of those three, user shares, builders, where do you see yourself fitting in? Because I want to support you in the best way possible. So I know what your needs are. And then based on what she is, it helps determine placement, okay? I never once am trying to coerce anybody. I'm not trying to push anybody. I'm not trying to sell anybody. I am providing invitations for people that are interested. So you start with offering an invitation to find who's interested. And don't try to convince anybody of anything. You're offering something and they're coming towards you. All right? You don't pull people towards you. And then, of course, there's techniques and things you can do to incentivize, to help move things along. And you can tell people if they show up at the class on Thursday, you will have a free for them, whatever it is you want to offer. Because people like to get stuff free. So psychologically, that will help make sure they attend, Liz, okay, that they show up because they're going to get something free. I think I carry postcard invitations in my purse so I could just fill them out all the time. And a couple years ago, I went to Amazon and I think I ran off 1,000 of them and I'm still using them. I mean, it's not expensive. I think I spent about $50 on them at the time. But there's a psychology to that too. Let me demonstrate that for you. This is an invitation. Pretend this is the invitation card, okay? So we're talking and we're at the store and she said, yes, she'd like to come to the class on Thursday. And I've told her she's going to receive a free essential oil for attending and learning about the oils and helping me get the word out. So I've written all the info on the card. So I hand her the card and I go, here's your invitation card. Now make sure you bring this to the class because this is going to get you your free oil, okay? And I have that typed on the card right down there. And she says, okay. So here I'm handing it to her. And as she goes to grab it, I pull it back. And I said, now, I only have room for 10 people on a Thursday. So if you think there's any chance you're not going to show up, I'd rather you choose a different class. We can, I hold the classes all the time. Do you think this date is really going to work for you?
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I said, fine, here you go. Here you go. I took the cookie away. I offered her a cookie, but then I took it away. What happens when you take something away? People want it, right?
Right.
And I'm putting the importance on this card, and I'm putting the importance on that slot, that this just isn't, I'm not begging her. I'm not begging her. And I'm telling you, ladies, here's what happens. Here's what happens. She'll say, well, I think I was going to talk to my friend Mary about coming, but how can she get a free oil too? I said, I'll get a card to her. You let me know, and I'll let you know if there's room in the class. Absolutely. Yeah. It's always much more fun to do something with friends. I mean, I'm nice about it, Sure, absolutely. And then I'll if there's time, I'll put it in the mail to Mary or I'll get it to her house because usually they live around the area. Okay. And I'll give her samples too. So that's why I always have classes scheduled that I can plug them into in order to do this, okay? Because sometimes I get into conversation and I'm not offering samples, when I say, are you open to natural health care? And, and then she, and I said, have you ever heard of essential oils? And we start dialoguing and whatever. And she'll start saying, oh, I have allergies. But I said, you know what? I think what you really need to do, I would suggest, I hold classes. Would you like to come to a class and learn more? I'll skip the sample issue. I mean, I'll still give her samples to try, but I'm not waiting to follow up on a sample. I'm booking her right for the class. And then if she says yes, she'd like to learn more, then that's when I pull the card out and I say, she's coming to the class. Or if I'm scheduling a one-on-one, you can do this for a one-on-one too. Just say, well, here's the card. Make sure you have the card when we come to the one-on-one in order to get your free oil. That's how I keep track of my free product, is with these cards. And I have had people call me and say, I have another friend that wants to come. Can she get a card? You just have to have a system. Liz, did you have a question?
Yes, I have done that with the invitation card, and well, I haven't given the cookie and then took the cookie away. I've not done that yet, but I have told them about it. If they bring that cart, they get a free oil,
Hmm.
and it's almost like they some of them, not all of them, but they're like, oh, well, wait a minute, no, I don't want this. It's
Well, then you have
almost like
someone
it's
that's not interested. You're not qualifying her before that she's definitely interested.
gotcha,
You're just out there
gotcha.
offering cards to people. You're not asking them the right questions first. You're not finding out if they're an interested party or not, if they're your target market. You're just trying to get samples and people without finding out where they're coming from. And you have to make it about them. And in your dialoguing, if they have an issue, if they have a problem, and you're providing the solution naturally, and that's what they want, they'll come. All right.
Right.
There's lots of people out there that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And they're also sick and tired of drug solutions, but they don't know what to do. So
Hmm.
if you're going to come into contact with those kind of people and you're saying, hey, I have a solution, you want to learn about it? Take an hour out of your life, come learn about it. You get a free oil in the process. That's going to be worth their time. Then they'll show up. Yeah, you can give them a family essential kit. If they're not interested, they're not going to show up.
Debbie,
Uh-huh.
when you
I
give the
follow up.
sample, do you do when you say I have a free oil for you? Is it actual, like, do you do like wild orange, or are you just giving another sample?
That's up to you, what your
Okay.
budget can afford. Yeah.
Okay.
It's what your budget can afford. For me, if I'm in a position, you always put your dollars where you need them the most. If right now you need butts in seats in order to get this momentum going, I'll buy that $25 kit and get those 10 bottles of oils. If I use nothing else in that class in a box, that would be $2.50 per bottle, right? For $25 if I use nothing else. And that's worth it to me if I can get an interested person in the seat. Because I know if I can get an interested person in that seat and they listen to me, they're going to hear it. And I'm on my way. The second place I put my money is in booking incentives at a class. I really don't want, I told you, I don't like to get hollered at. I don't like people to not be happy. It's not comfortable for me to talk to strangers out there. I'm an introvert. That's not my thing, okay? If people are there, I'm fine and I'm on, okay? So at a class, if I've got people at a class, I'm going to do everything I can to book from that class. And you talk about time management. I learned this years ago when I had my first daughter. In order to stay home from being a legal secretary, I chose Mary Kay and I chose network marketing. But I had to bring in a certain amount of money or I had to go back to that legal secretary and leave my baby. And I was not leaving my baby. But I didn't have a lot of time either, okay? We couldn't pay child care and whatever, we were young and all that. So I learned that every class I went to, I booked them. I was in my head, I'm going to book at least 2 from this class. So I started out with 6 classes. And if I hold 6 classes and I book 2 from every class, I now have 12 classes. And if I book 2 from every 12, I now have 24. Okay, in reality, is that going to happen every single time? Not necessarily. But the point is, I had plenty. I had plenty. You know how much so? When I learned this, and it was so ingrained in me with that time management that I was telling you about, in Mary Kay, I became a director in 6 months with a pink car. And I had a newborn baby. But I did it because I managed my time and I worked smart, not hard. Every class I went to, in my mind, I was going to have sales to pay my bills because that was sales. Mary Kay is sales. That's direct sales, okay? And that's where I was then. I was going to book classes, so I had future classes, so I didn't have to take the time to go out there and find more hostesses. And so I incentivized, put the money into the incentives to make sure I had those. So I took really good care of my hostesses. I ran hostess contests, and my hostesses knew they were well taken care of. They got lots of extra goodies. Because then when I was running for a promotion or going to rank up, I could call those hostesses and say, hey, I got a goal this month. Would you help me out? Would you be willing to get some people together and as a thank you? And they knew they got good stuff from me. And they said, yeah, sure. And I learned that then. You take good care of those hostesses. You give them lots of attention and don't hold back on giving them stuff because they are a heart of your business and you're forming a relationship with them. And then I asked everybody if they wanted to do it. I had pocket folders made out with material all about the opportunity and Mary Kay and whatever. And when I was closing each person individually, I was saying, did you ever consider doing what I do? And if anybody had the slightest, I don't know, whatever, or, I would say, well, I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm going to give you this information. When I call you, you can just tell me what you think about it. It may not be for you. It really may not. But would you just be willing to review this? Now, some people are going to say, no, absolutely not. It's not for that. Good. Okay. They're not on my list. But some people took it and things changed. And then we dialogued and then things happened. So I wound up recruiting. I recruited people because I asked all those people I normally wouldn't have asked. I wouldn't have even thought of asking. So do everything at that class. Get your enrollments, get your hostesses for your future classes, and those are your future builders. They're all right there sitting at that class because they have that interest. You just have to wean these skills to get good at your communication. What, Lou? Did you say something?
So, yes, I have a question.
Sure.
How do you incentivize with doTERRA for book? What do you do for that?
Okay, it varies and it does depend on your budget. Okay, but right now, let's see, what have I been doing lately? I had a booth. So here's what I put on at the booth. I just said, if you're willing to book a class today and be a hostess, what was I giving them for free? They were getting the book for free. All right, that was a $37 value, but they don't get it there. They get it when they hold their class. Okay, and then I also told them based on people that are enrolling, they will get 10% of whatever the PV total is. So, for example, if the average PV is 400 PV, then they will get $40 in free oils. And then I always offer, if they have 8 or more people that are new to doTERRA that are 18 years older, learn the hard way. People line up their little kids there. So that are 18 years or older, I will always give them a diffuser because people like diffusers and people want diffusers and they don't like to buy them. So I offer that for them, making sure they have 8 people there. And are you going to enroll people if there's 8 there? What if there's 2 there? 2 versus 8. Your odds are up now 4 times, right? That's why I have great classes. Because I put the money into the incentives to make sure it goes the way it goes. Of course, we talked about whoever that was it Jan or no, it was Jan, I think, about coaching hostesses. That's very, very important to coach your hostesses. You can't just book a class and then expect it to just show up and expect it all to happen. There's coaching you have to do, which doesn't take a lot of time, and everybody's familiar with that, right? Am I assuming yes? Yeah, okay. Okay, any other questions on that?
So I do have a question because this is interesting.
You're breaking up,
I
Lou,
think
can't
this
hear
is
you.
why I've been taught not. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Want to try again?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I've been taught not to incentivize. And so this is really interesting for me.
Why would someone tell you not to incentivize? I'm just curious.
Well, okay, so who that person is Dana Moore. She's a presidential diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And she says the oils are, it's good enough. Like, what I get from her, what I've gotten from her is like the oils are enough. You don't have to give anything more, or is what I got from her. So I've been very I've not been very giving.
My response to that is, if that's what you believe and it's working for you, then that's what you do. My response to that is, if that's what you believe and it's not working for you, then you got to change something.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I would be much motivated to, if I wanted one of those books or something. Yeah, I'll bring, I'll invite some people and get that book for free rather than pay $30 for it.
Right.
It's all what you believe. It's all what you believe. And I told you, I came from a very dysfunctional home. I was very emotionally abused, and I've worked a lifetime, and I'm good, but there's still some of those tapes in there. So I keep myself comfortable. And in my mind, when I'm giving somebody something of value and whatever, it just makes me feel good. I'm a giver, and I like to give. So that makes me feel good. I love doing it. Okay. But that may not be true for everybody. I'm just telling you what worked for me and why it worked. But go back to those two things, whatever you believe, and if it's working, great. But Liz was telling me what she believed and it wasn't working. So I was giving her another way of looking at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and not just that, Debbie. I find too, we're offering solutions and we're not selling, but by a lot of people we're viewed that we are. And so we have to compete with, as far as hostessing, right? There's a lot of other opportunities, and bang for your buck. If somebody's looking to host a party, they're going to want to get the most that they can. And a lot of other companies, whether it be, Stella and Rodan Fields, Norwick's, on and on and on, they offer quite a bit for their hostesses, where doTERRA is a general, because we're sharing oils, not necessarily having parties. We don't have as much to offer unless we as advocates can provide it, right? So
they'll get there, that they're going to realize how awesome these oils are, and they're not going to want to live without them. But they aren't necessarily, they don't know that coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Nina.
Yeah, get them in the door. Yep.
Absolutely. Great point. Said that.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Hi. So I definitely agree with Nina and you, Debbie. I mean, incentivizing people, I think, is different for every person. I've had people who have been so happy with just getting a bottle of oil. And then those bigger incentives, I do like offering books. I like offering diffusers. But I kind of preemptively ahead of time meet with my host and say, hey, what would get you excited about hosting this party? Or get an idea how big a party they want to have. Sometimes, if they have 8 or more people, yeah, absolutely, right away, I would love to offer them the bigger incentive. But I don't always start out of the gate with something that big just because of the price point,
right?
Where we're at. So definitely, I think the key is just sitting down with your hostess ahead of time and saying, hey, what
do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? Because I'm here to help you get what you want. You tell me what you want.
And then you can almost set with them the tone. Okay, well, definitely. I think if you can get at least 8 people, I would be happy to offer you that diffuser. And a lot of times they're like, okay.
Yeah, it's a working relationship. Work together with her. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, well, we were supposed to be talking today about enrolling. If you look at your paper here, your brochure, a lot of this is just a matter of you reading, and you already know a lot of this. So I'm just going to highlight a couple things. The first one was talking about bigger kits. And what are you enrolling? What is your average that your people, when they enroll, what kits are they enrolling with?
A lot of the home essentials.
What kit did you enroll with?
I enrolled, this is bad, I forget, my upline, she had to talk me down off the ledge because I wanted the everything oil kit, but she actually got me started with the business buy backing me off of that and getting me on the LRP because it was a new year, new you, and I ended up enrolling with the Natural Solutions. I couldn't remember the name, but
Okay.
did that, and then I got on the LRP to get the extra 100, and then I stuck with it. So it was actually a good thing to start me at a lower one.
Okay. They say in general that you usually enroll people with your belief level, with your budget, which mean, or what you enrolled with. So if you're enrolling a lot of family essentials kits, then that's where your belief level is for a budget of what you think people can afford. And it's really not up to us to make that decision. And I always tell people when I'm closing in a class, I just say, I don't know your budget and I don't pretend or want to know. So I'm just going to show you a great some different kits that are priced below wholesale that are a great value. And if one of these meets your needs in your budget, I may want to make sure you know about them. And then start with the diamond kit. Always start big. Make sure you point out the positives. And they give you a form in here where you can sit down and put down what are the benefits of each one of these kits. So take the time to get some lines to make sure you know what that is. And also for time's sake, I'll tell you, if you go on YouTube, there's a 20-minute video by a woman. Just put in doTERRA bigger kits. And she does a great job, and she shows you her closing and how she sells bigger kits. So I don't need to spend the time on that. You can watch that video and learn from her. She does a great job on that. But too many people, you knee jerk here and you pull back. And if you don't see the value is definitely there. And think about it. You've been in for a while now. Have any of you said, you know what? I wish I would have started with a smaller kit. None of us. I don't think you'll meet anybody. We all wish we would have started with a bigger kit. So that takes care of that. Okay. The next thing, so you're going to look at that form on page 16 and you're going to get some good phraseology down. If you watch that video, that woman has some great phrases that might be of benefit to you for each one of those kits. I know how to resolve concerns. And ladies, this is the book for resolving concerns, overcoming objections. If you don't have the right words and understand the psychology of what people are saying, you won't know how to answer them, okay? And on page, it's on page 18 in this brochure. Remember, they had professionals help them develop this here for you. So this is really good stuff. So these are your common, on page 18, these are your common objections: money, time, the spouse, don't need. And that's not what people are really saying to you, but you got to understand that. So study this page and get some wording together, some questions. There's some key questions to learn to ask people when they tell you something to find out the real reason, okay? And then there's key questions, when you find out what she really wants, then if I could show you how to get that, would you want it? And if she says yes, then that's how you move forward. So you got to study this page here. This will help you hone your skills for handling objections. Let me go back to my other page. The next thing we're going to look at this week is understanding placements. They give you the explanation here of a 14-day move, a 6-month inactivity move, an enroller change, and a placeholder. And it's all spelled out for you here. So I don't need to really talk. It's redundant for me to review this. So you can read it on the page here as far as placements go, okay? There's no magic wand. It's not an easy thing. Placements is not an easy thing. In general, doTERRA has given you that Power 3 bonus. Fill in the power. Try to fill in that Power 3 bonus. And at the same time, work your depth. Okay, you're going down. Power 3, but go down under your builders. That's kind of the psychology that you're working on. And the next page that we're covering this week is talking about the compensation plan. Do you understand how we make money in doTERRA? Does anybody have any questions on this? You've got to know this in order to explain it to people. And to keep yourself excited. You got to know how you make your money. I mean, when you sit down and you break down and you figure out, if I did so many fast starts a month, and you had fast starts coming in, and then you turn those into LRP orders, and how those LRP orders start building and generating, it's really phenomenal how the money just adds up. Your highest avenue of income, ladies, is going to be this one right here. You know, those 67 cents from this person and the $1.25 from that person and the 250. Well, guess what? When you take that times hundreds and then times thousands, oh my gosh, this is the highest avenue of income above all, above the bonuses, the leadership bonuses, and everything else. That's your residual income. Questions on, does anybody have something, question on that? I want to make sure you have no confusion on that at this point in your journey. Okay. Last but not least, key is, the next page is follow-up. And does everybody give, every single person they enroll, do you do a membership overview or lifestyle overview, whatever you want to call it, with them? Is there anybody that doesn't? Okay. If you want to build residual income, if you want to build an organization, it's done with the membership overviews. When people are enrolling at that class, they don't know what they're doing. And I can tell you, we did not have this structured, wonderful system that you guys have to learn this stuff right away. When I first got in, there was nothing. It was just grabbing from hit or miss here and there. There was no structure. There was nothing written down. And we weren't doing membership overviews. And then I found plenty of time when I followed up with some people, they never opened the box. You know, they were so excited the class, and they never even opened the box. And of course, they're not going to be ordering because they didn't use the product. So, very, very important. Couple keys on that is, number one, when you're closing at your classes or your one-on-ones and they're enrolling, that's the time to book the membership overview. Please don't say, well, I'll call you and we'll get you on the schedule. Bring your schedule to the appointment. Have your dates circled when you're available. And then I always tell them, it's just a matter of fact, it just rolls off my tongue, and just say, well, you know what, today's Saturday, so you're going to get your oils probably by Wednesday. So we want to get together sometime within the week of next Wednesday. So how does next Thursday look for you? Or how does next Saturday look for you? Whatever, all right? It's just an assumption. I never have anybody question me on it, because I've always told them through the class that they get me. And they're very fortunate that they got me, because I'm the best. And I tell them that, because I believe that, because I take care of my people. And they get from me what they're not going to get from a lot of people, because I know everybody doesn't do it. But I take care, and I'm present for my people, and I follow up, and I make sure. I tell them at the class in the introduction, I am here to empower you to be a natural healer in your home. And for your first line of defense, I want to show you how to use these wonderful oils. Okay? So then when I go to, you know how I told you that I would empower you to be a healer? Well, it's real important now that we get together so I can continue that education. And we can really hone this into the personal needs for you and your immediate family. That's important, right? See? I'm exaggerating now. It's all subtlety, but it's there, okay? I never have anybody question me. They get to have an appointment with me when we're doing that. And they do. You're offering your time and your knowledge and your expertise and your willingness to listen. Do you know how many people out there in go into the medical community, get 5 minutes, get 10 minutes? Nobody's listening to them. Nobody's willing. Yeah, Nina, go ahead.
So I have a question. So I've only done a couple of the overviews. That's something that I would follow up with people, but not something structured or formatted. But as I'm listening to it, I would love to go back to some people that I've enrolled in the past. Do you think there's kind of like a window where you wouldn't really do that? Or do you think it'd be safe to just call somebody I haven't talked to in a year and say, I've tried following up, but try again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you just say, I've learned a lot in the last year, and I really feel like there's more I'd like to share, and that would be of value to you. Are you willing? Are you open? And would you like to learn more? Because I feel like kind of did you even a little disservice, but now I'd like to serve you better. Are you open? Ask permission again.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. It's never. But one thing I want to point out on here, they give you a wonderful timetable for your follow-up and keeping people connected. So if you read on here, while you're waiting for the product to arrive, you're sending them an email, welcome email, right? Or welcome text or something, or you're sending some kind of, right? Okay. So then you're having your membership overview, and it says on here 3 to 10 days after the product has arrived. You're having your membership overview. That's your next contact. Mm-hmm. Then every month, let them know about monthly specials and product education events. Okay. So I have a newsletter. I use Cinduit and I use a newsletter. Okay. So they're aware of that. Yeah. But I will tell you something I started doing since I moved to the beach. For the first 2 months, I put on my calendar when their next LRP is scheduled for. And before that LRP, I'm calling those people to ask them if they need any help with that. And I'm finding I'm doing that for about 2 months. Doesn't take a lot of time, but I'm really securing them so they're confident in what they're doing. Because everybody, even though you do it and you sit there in the membership overview, to some people it's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So just something I put out there for you. It's all about customer service. Then every 60 to 90 days, offer additional lifestyle overviews. Okay. And you can make that seasonal, and if you're involved with Cinduit, they have the seasonal topics and wonderful information, but you don't have to rely on Cinduit. I'm just saying they do. You can get it from other sources. But going into summer, your 69 days going into summer essentials. You want to get together. I'd love to share with you, how you can utilize these oils for your summer needs, whether you're going camping, swimming, to the beach, or whatever. Something new to learn. Back to school. That's another reason to get together. Okay. Getting through the holidays. That's another reason to get together. Spring fling, detoxing, clean start, an exercise regime, whatever, want to get to talk about the oils that are doing that. And again, sounds like I'm plugging Cinduit. I guess I am, but I'm in love with Cinduit because now when I'm contacting these people, a lot of this information I don't have to give to them. I'm sending to them. And I'm just setting a follow-up time to talk and answer their questions. So I don't have to spend all my time. Cinduit to me is worth the monthly fee because my time is very valuable. So that way I'm contacting them every 60 to 90 days, finding their interest, and then they can watch this information or hear this information at their leisure, whether it's coming in a Facebook class or they're plugging into a Facebook class or they're plugging into an email or whatever, right? And then I'm just setting the time for the follow-up. Well, great. I'm going to send you a series of emails about getting back to school over the next couple weeks. And then let's put on our calendars, all right, if I contact you, on August 14th, and I'll answer any questions you have. Of course, you can call me in between, if you need. But in the meantime, know that I'll be just checking up on you. And that no pressure. There's no pressure there. If they're interested, they will, But I'm asking if they're interested first, okay? I'm not just arbitrarily sending this out and just, vomiting on everybody, okay? So that's a matter of having your phone calls planned, all right? And if no order is placed in 60 days, customer appreciation calls. And we do have a wonderful customer appreciation script in the sharesuccess.com library. They have wonderful scripts on there for you to use. So here, you're keeping the people engaged, okay? And if you're fortunate enough to live in an area where they have live events and get together and do live events, well, that's wonderful. You have those to plug people into to keep their interest level up, okay? So there's always something going on that you can plug them into. Either you're doing it or they're doing it. But back to that membership overview. We're at the end of our time. We kind of went on some other topics. Hopefully it was helpful to you. I usually like to do a membership overview because to me they're so important, and I like to get into the psychology of it. So I think what if it's okay with you, I'll just go ahead and make a video and I'll post it this week, and then you guys can watch and have it to look at. Would that be okay? Okay, and give you the psychology behind it because. What are you using for your membership overviews now? What literature? From who?
I used Edge Success.
Edge Success. Okay. I learned on the Edge. Huh?
Do you
Jackie?
still use Edge, or have you switched to Share Success?
When I'm training someone, because I want to train everybody consistently in this system, I have been using the Share Success. But when I do it, I have it down to I have it just, it's in my system with the Edge. And so that's what I'm comfortable with. And I still really like the Edge. So I'll probably be doing it with the Edge. But you can adapt it to really anyone. And to be honest with you, I'll just give you a heads up. Neil Anderson, this man is a genius. He has a leadership Facebook page. Ask to join his leadership Facebook page and get the notifications. This man does training videos on there all the time. But what he's coming out with, I'll tell you, he has a one sheet. Let me see if I have it to show to you. When he teaches a class, this is all he uses. And he offers all his materials for free. It won't cost you anything. There's a wellness pyramid, and there's the 6 categories of it. And then there's a place for hostesses down here. And he does a video on that Facebook page where he just uses this. I'm not trying to confuse you, and maybe I shouldn't even be bringing this up, but what he's coming out with now, I am so excited about. I can't stand it. He's such a genius. He's coming out with a form that is going to have this wellness pyramid on it, and it's going to have the actual products on there in each kit that matches that category need. So he'll have a whole natural solutions kit on here, and each product, which category it supports. And it's actually a big wellness pyramid with the pictures of the products there. So the people see, if I'm buying a family essentials kit, how many of the products will meet the needs of these categories. If I'm buying a natural solutions kit, look how many more categories are satisfied by the products. You hear what I'm saying? Are you getting the concept? So it's such a good visual for selling natural solutions, because that's what everybody really needs. We want them to get on the nutrition. They need to get on the nutrition. They need to detox. They need to start using toxic-free products. And they need to use these wonderful oils. And that's all in the natural solutions. So even if they don't start with the natural solutions, guess what their goal is? The natural solutions. So that's going to be their LRP to fill in, well, I need this product and that product in order to fill in this part of the wellness pyramid. So his whole class is teaching wellness and getting people to understand where their health is now, where it's deficit, where they need to improve, and how we can help them do that. Is that mastermind or what? And I'm just, he said it's going to be a couple weeks. Well, I can't wait. I want this tool. I mean, oh, it's just genius. And it's for free. He's going to post it on this Facebook group. So all you have to do is print them off. So it's going to make your closing so much easier. But we've only been in business for 8 years, and of course people are just, it takes time to get these training developed. But this is awesome. And I just heard that he's connecting with some type of sales training with Cinduet. So I bet you that's going to be in it. So it's a very exciting time to be here. The easiest time to be in here, to be learning how to contact and how to be successful in your business. Ladies, you can do this. All these things we're talking about, you do need to hone your skills. But the key is, number one, your mindset. What you believe is what you're going to achieve. And number two, you got to support that. Number two is your passion and your desire and your why. Very important. And you do it your way. You're not a Debbie Boyle. You're not going to be Debbie Boyle. But maybe there's something you relate with and you like about what I just said. Take the parts you like. Make it yours. Okay? So that you become the best Nina, the best Jackie, the best Jennifer, the best Becky. Just do it your way. Be honest and sincere. I am 100% honest and sincere. But I know my skills. I know how to communicate. And that's don't think that's selling. That's anything you go to do. You know, you could be a nurse, and I've had nurses that do everything a nurse is supposed to do, and you know what? They don't make an impact. Their heart isn't in it. It's not really them. And then I've had nurses when I've been in the hospital. Oh my God, they made my day because their heart was in it. They put themselves into it, and only they could do it the way they could do it. So that's what I'm telling you, Lou. You got to learn some good techniques to get those people in and find out who's interested, to make those contacts. Yeah, you got to learn what we talked about. But the bottom line is, do it Lou's way. Share these oils Lou's way. Be Lou with it. Be passionate. Share your experiences, and Premier is your next step, and you'll go on and whatever else you want to achieve. Seriously. So I want to make sure you understand that's what I'm promoting. I'm just trying to show you some ways. So any last questions before we end for today? We're over time, so I don't want to take up your mind.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you, Debbie. I absolutely love and appreciate your enthusiasm through this whole process.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, my heart is in it.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Well, good. If you want to do something for me, just go out there and be successful.
Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. And I'll get that video up this week of a membership overview too. Okay?
Thank
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.